Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Grave Mistakes podcast. I'm your host, Starch. We're here with Slim today, and today we're going to be covering Candyman.
Candyman. The urban legend is, if you say his name 5 times while looking in the mirror, he appears in the reflection and kills you.
Who would do that?
Candyman. 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 Well, we're still alive.
All right, just like always, Slim's going to give us a synopsis of the film.
Yeah, this is Candyman 2021. The story is primarily about, well, it is about a young black artist named Anthony McCoy. He is, at first in the story, kind of struggling to hit his stride that he was once, with like just inspiration-wise. And he is told to kind of go back to his roots. And he goes to Cabrini Green to get some like quote unquote inspiration to make art, basically. And he learns about the legend of Candyman, and the story goes from there.
Fantastic. All right, so compared to when this movie came out around 2021 or in 2021, how did you feel about it when it first came out compared to the rewatch now in the big 2025?
I think when I first watched it, I liked it more than people were like, reviewing this to be. This also kind of suffered from the Jordan Peele like association, but not directed by him. I think he did do some writing though, but I mean, I still liked it. Like, I think we were talking before, just like we liked it even more so than when we first watched it. Like, I was like, I don't know why people were even talking about it like this before. The ending can be like not as good as I want it to be, like, compared to like the original Candyman and whatnot, but I think it still holds up pretty well, like majority of the story anyway. And like I feel like there's some like sequel stuff that we can talk about later on, because that's what kind of the ending leads on. But yeah, I mean, I still liked it. How'd you feel?
Honestly, for the most part, I think this movie gets better with each rewatch. Like you said, I kind of got to separate it from the Jordan Peele expectation piece of it, and kind of from like a Candyman franchise edition, and I kind of just watched it as a regular movie. I was like, wow, there's some like really good stuff here. Some of the shots and the cinematography are genuinely beautiful and kind of captivating in a sort of like somber, it's always nighttime in Chicago kind of way. I really like the lighting, especially how like all the characters are lit, because obviously it's a primarily black cast, so that was really important. Having the movie get like kind of taken back in that way of having like a black protagonist against Candyman, and there's like pretty interesting conversations about gentrification, how art is like consumed, and like how humans are valued. Or how black people are valued, and I got to see Candyman kill some people. So yeah, honestly, I think it's just getting better for me.
Yeah, no, like when you're talking about like the shots and whatnot, like there's like a lot of shots from I think just looking up at like some of the city buildings that you're looking up into the sky, but you can still like see some of like the famous buildings, like the Sears Tower and like the Marina condos. I think that's where his the critic lives and gets killed, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Like the spiral. Yeah, so that was really nice. It kind of reminded me of Smile, just like the upside down shots.
Yeah.
But it came out afterwards.
It did. They invoked some interesting like technique with the camera. I don't know if they invented the technique or what, because I'm not like a cinephile or nothing like that. But the opening credit crawl, the camera is like double inverted. Like that doesn't make sense. Basically, it looks like you're looking up, but the camera is actually not looking up, because all the buildings are getting recorded from the bottom. So you're looking at the base of skyscrapers as the camera moves, but there's like a sky or like a fog at the back in the background, so it looks like you're looking. It's like this weird like dream-y kind of appearance to the skyscrapers, and so that was like a really cool like just kind of way to start it off. The trailer for this movie is absolutely iconic. Like if you have to rewatch it, it's basically the whole scene where they retell the story of Helen Lyle from the original Candyman, and it does the little like paper puppet thing.
Oh, that's awesome, man! Like they. Like, I love that. That was like the intro, right?
Yes, you get the Coleman. Well, it's not the intro, I don't think. I think it's later when Coleman Domingo is explaining the story of Helen. But yeah, like him narrating it, and then the little paper, and then the like the song. Super big fans of that.
Okay, it's kind of weird because when I'm trying to think, I forgot his girlfriend's name, but her brother is describing
Brianna.
the story. Yeah, Brianna's brother. I think his name's Troy. He's describing the story, and you at first you think it's going to be about Candyman, but he's talking about Helen and like
Yes.
something that happened in the projects there.
Oh, you're right.
It's
That's
like
when they tell the
everybody
thing. Yeah.
they forget about like Candyman. We don't learn about Candyman until for inspiration he goes to Cabrini Green and
You're correct.
meets Colby Domingo.
Yes, which yeah, that's the that's the other thing that's really cool about this movie is it replaces Candyman as an individual and turns it into like a sequence of legends. And it seems that like whatever story you're told becomes the manifestation of Candyman. So it's almost more like not a smile demon, but I'm trying to think of like just like a creature that takes the form of actually Nightmare on Elm Street and Nightmare on Elm Street, a New Nightmare.
Yeah.
Kind of does this. So what I really like is that I would have actually kind of enjoyed if almost Helen manifested originally to kill somebody at the art show.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been kind of funny. But by that point, he's already learned the story of Candyman. And then the guy who used to give candy that Coleman Domingo tells the story about, I'm forgetting his name.
Like a Samuel.
Is it? Yeah, Daniel Robitaille Sherman, yes. So we get that whole thing, and man, rewinding a little bit though, there's the movie just kind of drops a big question philosophy concept on you really early on, and I kind of wanted to definitely hit that. So when the brother and the brother's boyfriend come to visit Brianna's apartment with our protagonist, they're describing like the Cabrini Green projects, and they're like, yeah, they gentrified the shit out of all that stuff. And then when they're describing basically exposition dump how gentrification works in real life, and the white boyfriend just goes, oh, like here, like how y'all like this building you're living in, how that's the case, and they're like, and then it cuts to the next scene. I thought that was very interesting because yeah, spit your game here.
I was gonna say it's kind of hard because, like, they are black, successful black people, especially like coming from the South Side. Like he thought he was born. He was raised in like Bronzeville, which he thought he was born at. But I'm sure he didn't have money when he was born. He got like rich off of making art about his culture and his past. And that's kind of like he gets put into the space now, and it just kind of feels like he's just making money off of that and not really, caring, I guess. But it's kind of weird because like gentrification is going to happen, but like, should we be a part of it? Should we be moving into these spaces? That's kind of what it felt like, especially like with these young black, like successful people.
I think the question the movie I think that the movie kind of throws out the question, but doesn't provide a definitive answer. But it seems that they, after rewatching this movie now and paying attention from like an analytical lens, the movie takes a stance to saying that Anthony McCoy's like kind of perception of his own art is actually kind of problematic. So I would assume if we're going to kind of follow that train, that it kind of says like, hey, it's actually not kind of cool if you buy like housing that was purchased for a very low price that ended up kicking a community out, and then now you kind of get to benefit for the reduced rent. But it's also not critically talking about it. So I think that it's like that wasn't cool, but it's better than if like, if it was purchased by like almost essentially recolonized by, like white people in affluent areas. So yes, the art thing, super big. Like, I also like that he's kind of a freeloader. Like in his brother, or Brianna's brother is kind of like his name is Troy in the movie. Troy is just kind of like yo broke ass need to get a job. Stop freeloading at my sister's high rise apartment. And that's kind of what. Go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like he's made his money and like it's still it could be lasting, but he hasn't had anything like hit in a while. It feels like because we see his I think we start off like when they're showing the apartment, we see like his like original painting of like the arm. I think it was like a noose around the neck and some arms like choking. And then
that was the one he submitted, I think, right? Yeah.
He shows like another one, and it's just like the same thing but a different color. He's like, dude, this is just like what you were like. What's going on? Oh yeah. You need some inspiration. Like, yes. What is going on?
Yes. So man, this movie is really good with that. So yeah, after he basically gets like emasculated, he proceeds to the art gallery to present the new piece anyway. And the white art dealer, this is a very unsettling scene. The white art dealer looks at it and is like, basically says it's derivative and it's been done before. And the inspiration for his art is violence, brutality, and like the suffering of black people. So for like the art dealer to like essentially dismiss it and to be like, I'm looking for that new black trauma, which is basically what he tells him. He's like, no, bring me something like that's like, like when you're commodifying that suffering and that pain, it's really unsettling. And he feels the pressure to provide that, obviously, because he needs to make money and because he wants to be rich and famous and so on and so forth. And he's like, okay, I was thinking about talking about how Bronzeville's being gentrified. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the Chicago area, that's, part of the south side of Chicago, some developments are occurring and things, so on and so forth. He's like, nah, that's boring as fuck too. And so he goes, well, what about Cabrini Green? Because he remembers the scary story Troy told. And he's like, oh, that's cool. Let's do that black trauma stuff. It's kind of like, oh man, but. And it kind of sets off into that way. Funny enough, that character's name is Clive, which is the name of it's like a nod to the original director from the white director from the first Candyman movie, which is Clive Barker.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see like what they meant by that and like a critical perspective. Were they not messing with, or the writers or directors not messing with Clive Barker? Because that was like a bit of a controversy with the original Candyman, is for a movie with a black protagonist featuring like, Cabrini Green and like the...
White, Helen.
Yeah, you get white Helen and the director's white. So...
I know you said black protagonist. That just confused me for a second.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Got a little mixed up there.
No, that's fine. I was gonna say also it's also him and the other critic too, because I feel like she's even worse because when she is like talking about just like his like the mirror art that he makes after like learning about Candyman and whatnot and like the whole folktale, and she's just like very cutthroat and exact with this, like, oh yeah, it's about like black trauma or whatever. It's like, yeah, it's fine, basically. And I was like, okay, like...
Her take was a little bit more nuanced, too. This is a very interesting decision for the movie to make early on, is they had basically two white characters drop a bit of, you need to think about this kind of attitude. It's not on purpose, but like it's on purpose for the people who made the movie. But it's like, there's a high and mightiness to some of the black characters in portraying their own, their people's trauma in art, and like we're not participating in any of it. Obviously, one with Troy's boyfriend mentioning gentrification, but two, in the art gallery, he's like, he's kind of goated and he's feeling himself because he did this Candyman piece, and she goes, "You people are the reason for this," and obviously, like that was a little on the nose because like, what the fuck do you mean? And she's like, artists, like you guys move in to these areas that have low income, affordable housing. And then you come there and you strip it dry of all, like you take all the suffering and the real lifeness of it and then commodify it. So, which is what he's doing. He never, like, obviously we find out later he lived in Cabrini Green and he's shared part of that history. But initially he's kind of looking for the bag. He's just kind of going there to, to get his name back on it. It's not like he interviews like Coleman Domingo about this story and then is like, I'm good. Like, he doesn't do any more deep dives on Cabrini Green as like a place, like doesn't interview any more people. It's just like he
finds this one source and just like kind of keeps going.
He's like, that's what I need. Yeah. There's not like a support element in it. There's not like a story he's interested in telling for the benefit of people. He's just kind of looking for his own art stuff.
He does, like, it's kind of weird because he does feel, I'm not sure if it's like he knows he has a hit or he actually feels really connected to what he made with like his art piece with the mirrors and whatnot. Like, what do you think?
I think he's like, this is peak, because he's like feeling himself and he's hogging the art critic, and then when he leaves everybody's shitting on him because they're like, your piece is low-key mid, then he's drunk and he starts talking shit. So I really think at this stage in the movie, because this is before he starts seeing the flashbacks, I think this is when he's like, oh, the piece is peak, but I don't feel connected to it yet.
Okay. Yeah, no. Yeah, how'd you feel about the two, like the first murders, like the two
That was
people who got
amazing.
murdered?
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, no,
Just like
those
the
guys.
is cringy.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do it, man. And like this whole thing, like, why'd she connect them? I didn't know. Is that a thing?
No, man, that's
Is she
not
like
a thing.
that belt?
They're just doing some freaky shit. Yeah.
Okay, that's what you got to say. Yeah.
Also, like
Yeah.
the art dealer talking shit about Anthony by saying like, "Oh, you're fucking the person that picks the artists for the gallery," and then proceeds to try to fuck his intern.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know. I feel like they aren't already a couple. Am I tweaking? Is there like?
The intern and the art dealer dude.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, there seemed to be a significant age gap, so it seemed like there was like him sleeping with his employees type dealio.
Oh, okay.
Could be wrong, but that's the vibe I was picking up on.
No, but that first kill was done like very well. Like they just do the whole dumbass candy. Like, oh my god, just like
Them inciting him immediately. Yeah.
yeah. While also just like doing what they were doing,
Getting freaked
She's like,
out.
yeah, overly freaked out.
Yeah,
also.
man. I like, and that was like one of those. That was just one of the moments where it's just like,
Yeah, I'm sorry. It just makes me think of like Perfidia Beverly Hills, like the way she's portrayed in One Battle After Another. In the beginning, where she's like, "Oh, we gotta fuck right now. This bomb about to go off."
Oh yeah,
But-
yeah. The
Yeah.
for the throw. Another thing I think is pretty funny in this movie is like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think a single black character incites Candyman.
Nah.
Yeah.
Coleman Domingo's like sister. When he's a kid, we get a flashback.
Yeah.
We see it then, but I'm not sure in the future it happens.
Yes. I also think in a weird way, the movie implies later on that he also might have initially done it as well. Because
How so?
Because it implies that Coleman Domingo's long con plan was to bring Candyman back so they could kill all the white people for gentrifying the area and making their life bad. Because that's his whole like ending monologue. And I know we're skipping ahead, but it seems like how okay. My confusion is how did he get Anthony to Cabrini Green? Like where was how did he start the ball rolling on that? Like
That's the thing, because like
that might be a
honestly,
critical plot error.
I was gonna say like if you are super like if you didn't like the movie and like at all, you would probably come back to just that inciting of like them meeting and it just like how did that happen?
How do you know?
Was it just by luck? How did he know exactly? Like maybe he could know his name.
You know what I think it is too? Because Troy goes, "Do you want to hear a scary story?" And so it could be that Coleman Domingo was respinning the legend of Candyman to people, like telling the story and stuff, or the story of Helen, just like in some way. Like I don't know if he bought ad space on Instagram for this. Like I don't know what the play was, but it seems like he might be responsible for initially like re-bringing up the circumstance, which would inevitably lead somebody. But I don't like. Obviously, there's no way he would know that Anthony would be the one to show up. So it's got to be a supernatural thing.
No, it's like Troy and his boyfriend are walking to their apartment, and they, like this Coleman Domingo's like, "Hey guys, you heard about Helen Shivers?"
It's like or they're walking to a gas station to get a couple of buzz balls and like a pack of Cheetos, and he's sitting there and he's sitting there at the gas station. Hey, y'all know what this place used to be? Yeah, huh? Helen Shivers, man. They're like, oh, who?
Because I guess it's like, I guess more people do know about like Helen and what happened there. Because like it seems like there's like articles, right? Because I know you say you paused the screen when the article
I did read the articles, yes.
Yeah. So that's like a well-known thing, and obviously it's not like the actual story and what happened in like the first movie.
Yes.
They really demonize like the white woman
Yes.
in the story, but as we see when we
No, go ahead.
I was saying, as we see, we meet like Anthony's mom, who was like in the movie. She's like, she helped me. She gave me my baby back and whatnot. Yeah.
I think because the story obviously which is a big thing of the first one, the police not being like helpful, if not antagonistic to the black community there. Like if you think about the events of the first movie, the police are investigating Helen for the murders, and they don't ever catch her. So during the bonfire scene in the first one, where Helen runs into the fire to save the baby and then fights Candyman to the death, if the police would not show up and start like asking people what happened, and if they did, no one was going to be like, this white woman fought a supernatural serial killer in a bonfire. So the police would have obviously just been like, yep, the killer went crazy and then died and then jumped in a fire, and then like, so the only people that know the real story would be the residents, and obviously they wouldn't want to bring it up because you don't want to risk summoning Candyman again. So I thought that was a really cool and kind of like realistic way, I think, that the general public would understand the story of the first one.
Yeah, no, it's just I like how like in solidarity they were, because I think there's a line in the movie where someone's like, I think someone slipped up and started talking about him again.
I think it's his mom.
Obviously. His mom?
I think his mom is the one who said somebody must have, because she said we all made a pact not to talk about it again, but somebody, that's why I was like, it must be Coleman Domingo who is spreading the story again.
I mean, it must be hard. Like, he had such like to be that full of hate, especially when you have two like incidences where you were that close. Like, you saw like the like inciting. You basically caused it on accident with Sherman, like his whole death and his whole like just police brutality. There's like a lot of like criticism of the Chicago Police Department in general, and how racist they were back then and still are. But just like them to kill him, like not even take him into custody, just kill him.
Oh yeah, at the end of the movie, and like earlier on too, when Coleman Domingo is telling the story of Sherman, it's like
No, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah,
when they just kill him.
Yeah,
in the basement. Yeah.
They do the same thing with he's climbing in the walls and stuff. Where he sees him because he hears the rumor that he's putting the razor blades in the candy. So he sees him with the candy and he freaks out. Then he screams, and obviously the police come in and beat him to death. But also that kid, it does really good acting. That's like that classic to me, that Jordan Peele look when in Us, where the kid is filmed and it's kind of like a medium shot with the wide eyes. That was pretty good.
No, I don't know. It's something like how we look. I feel like we're really good at those. Like, I don't know if it's like the contrast of like the dark skin and like the white eyes, and it's like
it could be
on that face. But yeah, I really like those shots. It just seems like very unsettling.
That actor, the kid actor, is Rodney L. Jones III. For anyone who didn't know that.
Oh,
don't know if that was. I didn't know if that was the only movie he's ever done, but my man was locked in.
Rodney L. Let's go.
Yeah, so. Moving on from that section of the movie where we kind of get the Coleman Domingo introduction, that's where we kind of get the movie kind of feels like it starts speeding up. It's kind of like at times too when it comes to the pacing. So he gets famous from the artwork, not because it was good, but because it immediately gets kind of intertwined with tragedy. And that's like another big theme when it comes to kind of black culture and the utility of it. Sometimes it's just like what makes good TV or news, and it's gun violence or intercommunal violence with that kind of stuff. So the art critic who shit on it for 5 minutes and left calls him and is like, you're the next big thing kind of thing. It was I do under he's like, and he's pissed, which I actually kind of like this scene where he's at her house. He's like, yeah, you get it? Is that right? And she's like, yeah. And she explains it correctly. Like the first time she blah, blah. But then the second time she explains it correctly in a positive way. And he's like, all right, motherfucker. And then he starts tweaking, obviously. So, he goes to the bathroom and he sees Candyman as himself. And then she's like, the fuck are you doing? And by the way, her apartment's weird. I don't like her apartment. It doesn't look comfy. It's it feels like an art exhibit. Also, I gotta criticize her real quick. Why is she an art critic if she hates art? When she just started shitting on artists, talking about how they cause the dilapidation of communities, and they kind of help speed that process along. It's if you hate artists or art, why are you doing this? Is she an artist supervillain?
That seems like a very specific kind of artist that she says she was she doesn't like. You think a lot of, cause it's kind of hard because when she said that artists instead of we thought black, she's basically talking about black artists who are doing that. Who is a white artist who is going into a community and just stripping it bare? I
think a lot of them. I think that's another point of the movie is that you've got it's just people from privileged circumstances moving into these affordable housing areas, and then taking all that has occurred there and not turning it into a profit intentionally, but not inadvertently. It's intentional. It's subliminal, I guess. It's like you take it, you make art of it, you go, yes, this is art, I'm trying to tell a story, but then obviously you're getting fame, fortune, so on and so forth, so you're benefiting from it. But I think it does also imply that she's referring to black artists kind of like using their own culture for utility. But there's a line later when Coleman Domingo, I think it's either Coleman Domingo, Brianna, or Troy, I literally can't remember who says it, but they say they like what we make but not us. I think it's a Coleman Domingo line. Says it too, has to be him, because he, like later, obviously, like we said before, he gives the speech about wanting to resurrect Candyman for the purpose of like his revenge against the white man. We can jump forward to the situation. Oh, by the way, hold on. I like when the art critic gets killed. I love that shot because it kind of mimics the little paper puppets, because the camera goes wide and it shows like all the apartment units, and then she floats up in the air and then like gets picked up and her throat gets slashed and she gets kind of jerked around and pulled through the window and dropped. It kind of looks like a little paper puppets like jerking around and moving. So I thought that was like a really cool.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I was gonna say we could speak like on it now. Like there's just so many shots of like, oh, Candyman is like in a mirror, like behind somebody just waiting. Because like right before, she's like, what is wrong with you? Like she opens the door, and he's like over there like in the mirror. Like Candyman's behind her in the mirror, and it's like, oh, okay, she must have said it then, right?
Yeah, which he did. He made her incite it, and obviously that's the part where he starts tweaking and he starts feeling the pull towards the Candyman-ness of it all, which is kind of like another thing. I wasn't a super big fan of the movie. I almost wonder if this movie would have worked more successfully if Anthony McCoy was not the son that was, or the infant affected in the first movie.
Right.
Like his weird supernatural pull to be Candyman, but was not really explained a lot well. Because honestly, this movie, the movie's an hour 30 minutes. I think it suffers from that. The movie needs to be 2 hours. Like we need 30 more minutes of context, I think.
Yeah, see, like I thought it was going to be like another like event of Candyman being like created again, but I don't know if that's just like, I don't know if we want to see that, because is that like another like police brutality situation?
Well, I think I think you can play it the exact same. You invent the Sherman character. You explain that Candyman is like a collection of brutalized and tragic black men, and you still have Coleman Domingo be the antagonist. I just don't think you have to have Anthony McCoy like start to have this weird, paranormal relationship with Candyman where he starts he can still go crazy and slowly when he goes to the hospital for his hand getting super rotted and he's wearing the full painter's costume, you can see this is like the iconography of a slasher. Like he's slowly starting to look like a contemporary or like a classic slasher character, because like OG Candyman, Tony Todd's got the big ass coat with the fur neck and like the white, and he's got the hook. And then obviously Sherman's character has this huge yellow coat and the prosthetic hook hand. And so when he comes out of there and he's got the half rotted body, the white painted suit on, you're just like, oh, this guy, all he needs is a hook, and he's going to look like 2021's Candyman. So
that's what Coleman Domingo like does. He's like, it's almost there.
Oh yeah, he starts chopping his hand off. Yeah, we can kind of speed forward to that section. So yeah, obviously by this point he's been seeing all the circumstances occurring around him. There's multiple murders at this point. He's gaining more traction. I love the scene where he's in the apartment. And by the way, Brianna is the first person to have seen Clive in the other person's body, so she's traumatized. Plus, we get the part later, the flashback scene where you find out her father was a struggling artist who committed suicide. So obviously there's like some daddy issue stuff that attracts her to Anthony. And while she's like kind of experiencing the trauma of the circumstance on the news, he goes, oh my God, they said my name. And everybody looks at him. Funny. But that's what I mean about the movie. It's funny, but that's the movie criticizing like how he takes, but like him specifically, it's like, you're not focused on the right thing, bud. You're focused on the bag, like you just did a thing about Cabrini Green and art and stuff. People are literally dead, and you're focused on like fame. So it's like, are you really, like, the hero?
Or for like, I'm not sure like they're her friends, but like I'm sure like she's like, these are people they just saw the other day, right? It's not like random.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like, I just hear my name on TV.
Yeah, it's like I'm getting money off the,
Yeah.
Yeah, and so after we establish him kind of losing his mind and introducing the Helen part of it, obviously he starts to investigate. He goes back home, finds out he's the baby, the infant from the original Candyman movie, and his mom is like, the classic, I kept the secret to protect you. And by this point, he's kind of full tweaking. So he kind of gets up and leaves, and mom tries to stop him, but she doesn't. And he disappears by this point. By the way, this is the last time we see him before the end of the movie.
Oh well, what you're talking about?
When he leaves his mom's house.
Oh, we see him. He goes to Cabrini Green, and he sees like a flashlight in one of the old places, like the old units, and he just walks towards that.
Yeah, that's what I mean though. But he you're like, what the fuck happened with that? And then it's like, that kind of switches to the perspective of Brianna realizing that. Out of all the people being mentioned, there's actually a really important scene that we forgot to mention. It's when Brianna comes up to the art studio and he's fucking losing it, and he's got all the paintings of all the previous Candymen, and it's art that looks like somebody who's experiencing a mental health crisis would make, not like his conventional stuff. And he's like, don't look at these. And she's like, what the fuck is going on? And he starts tweaking, and she's like, look, he's not real, and starts saying it. He breaks the mirrors, and she's like, this is getting domestic. Do not come near me. Very powerful scene. Really love that whole circumstance, because it's like she's just like pleading with him, because obviously she's like genuinely in love with him, but she's like, dude, like, you got to come back to me. You're losing it right now, and I don't know what to do. And obviously he's doubling down on I'm telling you, there's a supernatural guy.
It's hard because it's really affecting him, and it's because he's trying to save her. He doesn't want
exactly. There's nothing you can do. It's a lose-lose. There's no situation, because when he does the hear me out route, which never works.
Never works. No.
I'm telling you, it's Candyman, and she's like, obviously she can't hear anything he has to say after that. But what do you do there? What's the play? Do you go, okay, babe, sit down. We got to have a serious conversation of why I'm not actually delusional. I need you to think. I need you to think about this real quick.
See, yeah, I think so. We talk about so many especially these movies that have been coming out recently. Smile comes to mind. A-Train in the first movie, who just does not believe his wife at all, and just any sort of reassurance would have helped, I think. But obviously, these are supernatural things, day-to-day thing. If somebody just walked in the door and said, I just saw a ghost, I'm like, what are you talking about? No, you didn't. Get the fuck out.
But here's the thing. I really, really, really badly don't want to be that guy who is just dismissive of the thing. I think the problem is he went full Delulu, didn't tell her anything from the jump. She sees all this crazy ass artwork, and now he's talking about hear me out. It's too late, Honestly, it would have been better if he goes, hey, I'm going through something right now. I'm gonna need you to head on out.
No, but it was so funny because he's they're all at the dinner table with that famous art acquirer or something like that.
Yes.
And they're like, oh my god, she just died. He's just like,
I gotta get out of here. Oh my god, I fucking hated that. That's not good. It's not a captivating scene, and it's way too
suspicious as well.
It's suspicious, but it's been done too many times too. The character's I can't explain myself. I have to leave. I'm like, fuck off. You couldn't have done anything more subtle. So yeah, obviously she suspects that maybe he's killing people or something, but. Another very important scene, and also beautiful, when she goes to the new art gallery because Clive dies. The black businesswoman who I think she's I don't know what her job is specifically, because Brianna's character is a curator, so so I guess she's above a larger art thing and is trying to hire her to curate it, and she's kind of excited, and there's an implication that it's black women in the workplace, and obviously there's an exciting relationship that could develop there, and then she gets there, she kind of gets cut off when she's talking about how excited she is to her. She's like yeah, so I saw your last curation with that piece, oh, and then she cuts her off again. She's like, oh, you work with Anthony McCoy, right? And it's her own utility or what she has to bring to the table, despite how successful she is instantly disregarded. And the only thing that's valuable about her for this other art person, which is unfortunately another black woman, is her relationship to Anthony and how Anthony's work is not inspiring, but just garnering attention through once again the trauma and the death and stuff like that. So it's that guy's art, like in its connection to violence, like your culture's connection to violence is fiscally valuable, and therefore that's the only value you serve here. And you can see her get disappointed like throughout the conversation, and so that was another pretty like interesting part.
Like, you can have that conversation, like, but the way she did it, like, she could have been like, oh, I know you work with like lots of artists or stuff like that. Like, I'm looking forward to working with all of them. But she just like, oh yeah, you work with artists? Oh, you know Anthony, right? Yeah. Oh, that's the only person I'm interested. Yeah. I don't care about anything, but like, that's just a straight, direct line, like through you to.
But I mean, but it's the truth too. Like, she doesn't care about the other artists, because at her part B of the sentence is, oh, and anyone else you want to. But it's like, no, she doesn't care about that. So it's like you don't even worry about it. So now we kind of get like her being like, what the fuck's going on? Looks at the list, and she's like, oh wait, there's this laundromat dude that Anthony mentions. Let me go figure it out. And then she goes into Jigsaw's laundromat with the door automatically locking behind her, and she gets kidnapped by Coleman Domingo, who is turned into Al Pacino from Heat. He's just fucking losing it. The overacting award goes to Coleman. Yeah, and so that's when he gives his long speech about how Candyman has always like terrorized, the black community, but now he can use it as a weapon to get revenge and terrorize like the white community who's been gentrifying the area, which obviously this guy's experienced a whole lot of trauma by this point because he lived in Cabrini Green. So it's implied that he was there to witness the Helen situation, and post Helen situation, or even like pre Helen situation, he gets Sherman killed. And then
he sees his sister die.
Yes, and his sister incites Sherman Candyman after that. Yeah. So he's like, he's obviously fucked from the get. And so at that point, he's like, nah, this is, I gotta spin the deal. And also, there's the razor, the razors and the candy guy that they're talking about, and he bites into the lollipop with the razor in it because he's fully sending it in this scene. Thank you, Coleman.
No, he really is. Yeah.
Saws off Bro's hand. And that's the other thing. So by this point, Anthony is kind of like a zombie. He's like, the whispers of the Candyman stuff have fully taken over, so he's not really reacting and getting his arm chopped off. He's just kind of sitting there waiting to get possessed, I guess. That part's not really explained. Brianna locks the fuck in, escapes, runs away, kills Coleman Domingo's character. I don't know why we don't call him William Burke, like his actual, but Coleman Domingo is such an iconic person. But anyway, he kills him with a pen, and then, he's just fucking, and I love that she doesn't fall into the classic character trope of like the stab and leave. She literally just pieces this dude.
Oh, like keeps going, man. Yeah. I can't even like how many times she stabbed him.
And then Anthony's like, I think he's dead, and he's in full Candyman garb by this point, and he collapses. So like he kind of like, the spell kind of breaks. I would have liked if Coleman Domingo was doing some kind of Doctor Strange-ass hex magic to summon Candyman.
He's just like...
something to like indicate that he's casting a spell or something. I don't even know. But
that's what it seems like though. Like he has like some type of like trance over, and like Anthony just makes him just dull. It's really weird how he just gets to that point.
Well, when did the Candyman and William Burke have a sit down?
No, it's like William was just casting spells and then sent that bee in the infected Candyman virus. And just
just like, be my victim.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like part of the story is he's like, Candyman shows you to be his victim. It's like, yes, the whole thing was be my victim, but I think that was more of an iconic line, more than like a you're marked for that scenario.
Exactly.
Because like that would imply that like everyone that Candyman's marked for death, if they survive, they potentially turn into Candyman. That's like we've clearly blitzed through criticism corner while we're going through the movie. But CPD arrives, instantaneously blasts Anthony to death. And she gets in the cop car, and they're like, if you talk about this, you're going to prison for life, but if you tell our side of the story, you're cool. And she's like, check this out. And Candyman's in the rearview mirror, and then, like you said, Tony Todd hits like a 4-cop massacre and then lets her out.
I was gonna say, is that scene where he gets shot, like, is it kind of weird? Because I feel like Brianna is holding him, and then like there's like almost like a cut, but it doesn't feel like a cut.
It's a shadow. It's the shadow scene. So you see the shadows of it, but not what actually happens, which is a poor choice. Like if you don't want to show it because you think it's like too jarring or tragic, then don't. Yeah. Or set the scene up differently, because it's like, so he dumped like 4 to 5 shots into the body while she's holding him, and like without hitting her, and then like now her fingers are covered in blood and stuff, and guys, You
Yeah,
know,
it's just a strange take. I mean, like, I can see why people are like, or especially just black folks in general, like, we just, we don't want to see that stuff all the time. Like, this happens a lot. We don't need to. We don't
totally
need to see
understand.
anymore.
However, it is also the central theme of the movie. So you might want to just be a little bit better about like how that part's shot.
They could have went better. They didn't have to show exactly what happened, but just better. Like they could have just cut to like the stills of like the little stick figures and what happened there. But like
Right. Or instead of having him lay down in this weird Romeo and Juliet style moment where I think he's dying anyway, have him fucking turn around with a hook for an arm and the officer reacts and you're like, obviously he did that prematurely and that's fucked up.
Yeah.
But like it just kind of makes more sense like when it comes to physical space. All right, segment time. So remainder of criticisms. I've gone through a couple. I have some more, but I want you to kind of like, talk about this.
Yep. Oh, like mine?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna go over and then like I was gonna go off of those, but criticisms. I mean, we always go through criticisms as we go through these movies, but I'm trying to think. Man, I guess it's just what we were talking about before of just. Is it just a lucky thing that Anthony just so happens to move there? Then, he's struggling to find inspiration, goes to Cabrini Green, meets the one guy who has been kind of just waiting for this to happen. It seems like his entire life. And then, boom, not being like, he doesn't even go to him. Like, he doesn't go to Anthony. Anthony comes to him, like, at least 3 times. It seems like that first time where he gets stung by the bee, he's kind of marked there. And that's where, like, the infection and, like, the transitioning starts to become, like, an actual thing. And it seems like he is, like, the only Candyman that goes through this, like, eventual...
Everyone else dies first.
Right. Everybody else dies first and is just a victim of their just surroundings and their situations basically.
Yeah.
He is just because he is the baby, which like I kind of agree with you. I don't really like how they did that. Like he didn't really have to be the baby. I would like if he was just, he could have just been like a Cabrini Green resident, like instead of being a Southsidean like he thought he was. But I don't know. I just didn't think that was like really thought through. Yeah. What do you think?
Yes, to all that. The first Candyman, like Helen gets painted as the killer because Candyman keeps murdering people around her. And so if you're going to do like a legacy character situation where the person is picked for some reason, like Candyman is trying to turn Helen into his wife in the original movie, like, and so in this one, if it's like a lineage thing, then have everyone get killed around Anthony's character, so he fucking loses it and basically like convinces himself he's Candyman. Do like the self-fulfilling prophecy angle of it. It's like the whole like Coleman Domingo's like grand plan thing. Like I guess if you want to use common sense instead of picking the movie apart, it's implied that both Anthony and Coleman Domingo are compelled by a supernatural force to kind of meet at the same time. It's like the JoJo stand thing. Like they're like you're just like you're kind of drawn towards each other. I think that's kind of the circumstance the movie takes, but it's just like, once again, this movie needed an extra 30 minutes to tell the story. There's too many things happening in this movie. There's a gentrification theme. There is the theme of like, the commodification of black violence through art. And then there is also like the theme when it comes to like Candyman is the manifestation of like trauma that black people have experienced. So
Black trauma.
If he's gonna like pick like do 2, or if you're gonna do 3 of them, do a full 2-hour movie, because all of these plot lines have to pretty much be dropped for like the last 10-minute sequence of Coleman Domingo losing his mind.
Right.
Like we don't really get definitive answers for some of the other themes, or like it doesn't feel fully fleshed out. Also, like criticizing some more stuff, I like to see slashers in full body murder somebody. We forgot to mention the high school girl scene where she's in the mirror, because Brianna's character is like, who would do that? Like, who would summon Candy? And then it cuts to like 4 high school girls, so that was pretty funny. Yeah,
like they set it up because like she's in the like the art oh my god, I can't even think of it. Like, you know,
studio?
where the studio, our studio. She takes a picture of a fucking mirror, and then she just walks away. And then later on, we see the scene of like her in the high school bathroom. And I was gonna say, it's kind of weird, because you know, when they summon him, at sometimes, like, I don't know if you noticed this, it was so funny to me. In Coleman Domingo's character's backstory, when his sister says in the bathroom, as soon as they say
Instantly, just
it was like just the swing was already going through, and the man went through, and it was immediately.
Yeah, like
I was like, damn. In the bathroom scene.
Oh, they're playing.
Yeah, he take his time.
Bro, when the bald girl goes, I forgot my vape, and you see a gallon of blood hit the ground, I was like, oh, this is cinema. But the problem is I wasn't like, this was like a late 70s, early 80s slasher problem I had, where they would cut away from a lot of the kills kind of situation. Mm-hmm. It's like, nah, man. Mm-hmm. One thing I really liked about the OG Candyman is it instead of like Tony Todd was picking someone up with the hook. Like, you know, I like to see kind of the killer interact. I don't like cutaways. Like, is this movie trying to be PG-13? You know, like, no, man. Show me Candyman massacring high school kids. You know? I mean, yeah. I mean, that's the one scene that like really happened, and like it didn't really show it the one time. I mean, the other times, like we both thought it was really creative. Like the when the critic dies, when she just like slowly backs out the scene. That was cool, but still no Candyman. Cool, yeah. I want to see Candyman. Yeah. Well, yeah, okay, I know what you mean. Also, like in the original, he's like in full. Yes, he's the one you see everything. Yeah, the sister death too. You don't see him there. It, like the door closes, so you don't know what happened. Mm-hmm. Like the movie is obviously playing off of it's scarier when you don't see it, but you hear it. Correct. But for some time, like we have to see it at some point for it to be. Jaws has to show up for the last 20 minutes. You know. Yes. Yeah, I know. So yeah, I mean, those are most of my criticisms for a movie that I think is like, I think the movie is very smart, and I think it's like good. Actually, I really enjoy this movie, and there's iconic stuff to it. Like, it's great. You know, we love seeing black people succeed, but I also think this movie needs another 30 minutes minimum for it to feel complete. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why like it wasn't like the horror sensation that it could have been. Like the Rotten Tomatoes score is like 84. Letterboxd 80 something. Yeah, average is like 3 out of 5, which is good. Like the movie's good. It's just like. It was this close to being great, I think. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, you want to get into ratings? Hold on. Let's blitz through sequel possibilities and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. So they do set it up like even with this whole thing where we learn that Candyman is just not what is his name? Like, they say it because I don't remember his name being this kind of weird. Yeah, Daniel Robitel or something like that. Oh, like yeah, Anthony. Or Tony Todd's character. Yeah. Yeah, Tony Todd's character. Like, it's actually, you know, it's going on, and Coleman Domingo's like, it never stopped. It's still going on. Yeah. And technically, like, this is just, you can keep on rolling. Like next movie per se, is it going to be? Are we going to see Anthony, you know, just be the inciting character who is just killing people all around the country now because people are finding out about his work and people are actually dying now because we have victims and like the girl in the stall who were surprisingly survived that encounter with him. But it seems like more people are finding out. Like this could be like a nationwide like problem, but I'm not sure if this is going to be a sequel possibility at all. Like it doesn't seem like this franchise is going to move forward like in this universe. Would you want it to? Actually, yes. I think it'd be very interesting for Anthony McCoy's character because since Candyman is whatever story you were from, like that you incite. Yeah, like when you say Candyman, like your reference point for Candyman is who it becomes. So I don't know if this is going to break national news just yet, but it will be like a story getting followed every day in Chicago. So if Coleman, like if the movie follows like a tragic like route instead of like the heroes won, because that's another thing about this movie is it didn't definitively decide like whether Coleman Domingo wins or loses because the police get killed and Brianna gets saved, but Coleman Domingo turned Anthony into Candyman, and like the goal is to weaponize him against white people. So if you get like a bunch of like white people, you know, like doing like the stereotypical white people stuff of just being dumb and inciting Candyman. Bro, you could have Candyman on the north side. You could have Candyman on the high-rise apartments near Lakeshore Drive. Like you could have like that happening. Like Coleman Domingo's plan coming to fruition, where you essentially have him massacring affluent people all throughout the city, and then obviously somebody has to get involved and stop him.
It's hard, man, because I was also thinking like, like black people are also gonna die from this too. It's just not like, if a black person said it, it's not gonna be a difference between like black and white. Like he's still gonna kill. He's like, it was only killing us, and like I'm gonna assume that no one was dying at all for all those years almost.
Because everybody shut up.
Yeah, exactly. He brings it back. It's killing white folks, but it's gonna start killing black people too. Like the whole thing was like, you want equal fights? Like you want everybody to suffer at the same time? It seems like.
Well, I think the movie's message here is the reason that only black people died originally is because they were the only people who knew about the story through word of mouth. Because this is like you don't really have the internet or Reddit at this time. And so I think the implication is that, and also you see it through the movie where black people won't do the Candyman bit, they won't like inside. I think it's implied that he's like, no, them white folks are gonna say his name, and then like,
Oh, you're actually so right, bro. Yeah, because there's like a part in the trailer of the movie where I just, it's unforgettable. Where he's at his mom's house talking about it, and she's like, "Stop."
Yeah, she goes like just a clap, shush. Yeah.
No, no, we are not doing that. And honestly, every single black character seems like in the because they're like, oh, actually, Brianna was going to. She's like the one that's like, but I guess it's because Anthony's freaking out.
Yes.
And she's like, I'm gonna show you that it's not real. But
that was the only moment she kind of sacrificed that because her man is getting fucking possessed. So I kind of get that. Score. I love the original Candyman theme. I would have liked to hear a little bit more. Other than that, there wasn't really a whole lot of music.
I got some like undertones from I want to say it's Us, of the kind of like he like that. It was in a couple scenes where I just heard it. It wasn't exactly like that, but still some Jordan Peele stuff going on in there. So I like that.
I like the imitating the music. All right, it's time to pick your death scene.
That's hard. I mean, like you want to get throat slashed. So like the girl in the beginning definitely gets it better. I'm picking her, by the way, before you can talk. But compared to the guy who gets his like ankle Achilles heel like hooked, dragged, and then killed, like, no. He killed you in a gruesome way no matter what, but the throat slash seems to be the quickest and most effective. So I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, that's
are you gonna pick the babe girl, the bald babe girl?
No, check this out. Coleman Domingo's sister dies in 0.02 seconds flat.
Yeah, because she is not even moving. It's so crazy how they did that scene, man.
Underrated pick. Brianna's dad.
Brianna's dad. Did we see that?
He jumps out of a window.
Oh, that is what. Okay, why did I forget about that? Yeah. No. Okay, that's not bad. We don't really see it, but I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll leave it like that.
Representation station.
Gotta
get anybody gonna get it on 10. Gotta get it more 9.
This is a black female director. Also, the director of the Marvels, it seems like. I'm not sure if this is true, but I think it is.
I actually
Nia
would be
DaCosta?
super surprised by that because the actor who plays Brianna's character is one of the Marvels.
Yeah, there we go. So, you're right. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Tell me why. Say it ain't so.
Say it ain't so.
28 years later, directed by...
Yeah, she's directing the next one. Yeah.
Well, we might like it more.
Yeah, we might. That franchise is not for me. We're not relitigating. But yes, Tiana Paris does an excellent job in this movie. Obviously, a primarily black cast, women depicted fairly well, capable, and just interesting. Everybody looks beautiful in this movie. Cinematography, directing, it's all great. So like this movie is, it's got diversity.
Honestly, man, yeah, I'm looking at Anthony, and I'm just like, it's just like a reflection back at me. It just felt nice though, yeah, right.
Oh, it was so bad, yeah.
You can tell like the difference between when people like in Sinners, like they looked like how they looked in like dark light, how you could still see their complexion and whatnot, and
Yes.
then just like black.
Yes.
Yeah, you see that in this too. Like they really hit us right. I mean, like I love when we do us. So,
It's got to get like a 9.5 for diversity. The only reason it doesn't
Even
get
like
a 10
yeah,
is because
why?
there's only, for the most part, white people and black people. So you can't, Sinners you got Asian people, women, black people, white people, Irish dude who's also white, obviously, but 9.5. Your score?
I mean, I gotta agree. Like, yeah, 9.5.
Yeah.
9. Like,
we're numerical.
Brother.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 9.5. Okay, Graves' mistake. For those of you unfamiliar, this is when we litigate the most significant decision that led to the most downfall. So
Hard, man. Like, I mean, whatever sets everything in motion is. It's hard, man, because him making that his mirror setup, that is what kind of gets everything going, because he's the one that kind of is like, oh, I heard about this from my old boy, I'm gonna start sharing it, and that's what kind of sets everything in motion. But also it's kind of hard because he didn't know he was making like this mistake. It's kind of, it's a slippery slope. But what were you thinking? I'm still kind of going through mine.
Probably I'm gonna go with Coleman Domingo's dumbass sister doing the Candyman bit in the mirror as a kid.
So you're gonna blame a child?
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Honestly, I'm this close to blaming young Coleman Domingo in the movie for snitching on Sherman.
I don't know, man, because
coming out of the wall like that was nuts. But
let's victim blame Sherman. I agree. Let's do that one.
Oh yeah, that would have been terrible too. We can't do that. Yeah, but I will. No, that was a bit. I will go William Burke's sister for doing the Candyman joke in the mirror. That was not ideal. She should have known better. Where are their parents?
Yeah, no, I mean, we see teenagers do this like. I'm pretty sure like the original Candyman, like just like a whole bunch, man, he just kills kids. Like,
he gave them a warning too. They're the only people in the movie who get a warning. 3 out of the 5 Candymans in, the fucking shutters open, and then the Asian girl ran out of the bathroom and was like, "Fuck that, I'm out of here."
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
So like, come on, guys.
So you're that close. So what do you think is like the intermission between like the Candymans? Like, what do you can get away with?
Like how like what's the amount of time? It's got to be like at least an hour. It's got to be at least an hour.
Oh yeah, man, like a reset.
Because I feel like there is moments in the previous films where somebody hit it 4 times and then set it like 5 minutes later and activated. Like they were basically they were cooking the Candyman grenade. So I think you got to wait like at least an hour. Honestly, I would go full 24 hours.
24 hours to be safe, honestly.
Full tech. Also, can you keep Candyman in the tuck? Like if you're getting bullied or someone's pissing you off, can you like load up 4 Candymans and then hit a 5th one and dip out and then leave that person there to get murked? Like does Candyman have to kill everyone in the room, or does he have to kill one person? Is it like a soul for a soul? Because you could just start like feeding Candyman your ops.
Right, because like when she is saying it in the cop car and he says the last one, is that like the damning thing that sets him?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think that's what the setup. Which actually, thank you, because I was gonna rip into that as a criticism, but I did not know he said the last one. That was pretty smart.
Okay.
We made it, did it. He got the notebook out. He a podcaster. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So what? Yeah. So I think you just gotta not. I think you don't say it. I think you just don't say the thing that's on the news for getting people killed. My opinion.
It's like I'm also wondering, like, you're in the middle of a field of like where the project used to be, like where the high rises, they're all just like flat grass fields now, and you're looking into a mirror and you're just like, you say it, is she just gonna be like, how's that gonna work?
I think you get pieced out anyway. Yeah.
Middle of the field. Okay.
My other thing is you know how your phone is reflective when it's off? Like, can you iPhone Candyman someone? Do we get like a black mirror iPhone situation?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I think that counts.
Okay, that's pretty solid.
Oh, actually, maybe not. I don't know.
I feel like is it a reflective surface or is it a mirror?
Is Candyman going to upgrade in this digital age? That's
the sequel. Candyman just keeps killing people with the reverse camera. Oh, because it's a TikTok trend now. So you record yourself and then he fucking kills you, and then for some reason the video still uploads. That'd be kind of sick. Yeah, that's the Candyman 2099 sequel. That like it's like Jason
the white
X.
person. Is the white person like version of the Candyman like Bloody Mary? Is that the thing?
Well, it's the thing. I think it inspired the original Candyman movie. I think Did you ever do that? Did you ever do the Bloody Mary thing at at sleepover or something? So I did.
No.
I was at the kid lived like 5 houses down from me. And we were at their house in the basement, and I don't remember if it was a sleepover or if it was just a regular hangout. But ironically, me is the mixed person, and them is the regular black person. In entirety, they were the ones trying to do it, and I was like, "Fuck off, no." And they were like, "Now we gotta." And obviously, I was slightly compelled to like participate, and so I would have gotten Candyman. This is the fucked up thing. I remember they finessed me because they said it, and then jumped out the bathroom, and then closed the door. And I was like, "Damn, bro!" So I either got locked in the bathroom or they like held the door closed with both of us in there, and I was like, "Damn, bro, I'm finna get Bloody Married on." But
I was about to say it. No,
but yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah, so that I certainly would have died in elementary school / middle school from Candyman because
See, exactly. You're the perfect example. You talking about man, like fuck his sister for saying it when you
did I say it? I would have been vicariously victimized.
Guilty
it would have been my
association.
Fault. Wow. Okay. So I'm fuck it. It's my fault then too. I should have been playing all that.
I'm pretty sure in the original one, like Candyman just be killing whoever is like next to whoever said it anyway. So that's just
indiscriminately piecing the whole squad. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Anybody can kiss his hand.
Yeah, like I don't know, like how do you feel about the OG Candyman like lusting after white women thing? Like, okay, like pause. Obviously, like Daniel Robicheaux fell in love, like he was a successful painter, but I think the story also changed a little bit from the original. But anyway, who falls in love with a white woman and then like the forbidden love gets him killed. So. But like, does it truly count as the lusting after white women trope? Because he's kind of doing like the Mummy is the exact same plot, by the way, with what's his name, Fraser? Was it Ben? Fraser?
Brendan Fraser.
Just watch that movie. The exact same plot. The Mummy is lusting after Brendan Fraser's girl because he's gonna have her do like a soul swap with Oxuna Moon. So like, this is a very early 2000s plot where and Nosferatu just did it in 2024. Which, by the way, like we're forgetting that like that's how it used to work. The bad guy used to try to fuck your girl, and that was the whole plot.
That was the good. Yeah, love was like the primary. I think they did it because that's like the classic way of like black men can do anything like back then and just like have like the punishment does not fit the crime and the quote unquote crime. And one thing they hated was brothers.
It was interracial marriage.
Yeah, that. So, it just happened. It just so to be. Yeah, like I don't think he's necessarily like a snow bunny hunter, but
he becomes one though because he does. We get two more movies of him doing this.
It's kind of hard because that's the one he found in love with a girl, and then Helen so happens to be like almost just like resurrection of her.
That was different though because like clearly she looks like, but by the way, I don't know if you've seen Candyman 2 and 3, but those movies are the exact same movie, like the exact same plot. Like it is I mean like bar for bar, like they just copy and pasted the movie with different actors, which is insane.
I haven't seen them.
Man, they're terrible. Yeah, really bad.
Okay,
like the first one is like I'm pretty sure they go to like Louisiana in one of them, and there's like a mudslide flood situation that goes on. They definitely devolve, but overall, I really enjoyed this experience. I really like this movie. Anything with like the Jordan Peele flair to it. is gonna be great. Also, like we said, for the myriad of other reasons. So I haven't marked this movie in Letterboxd yet, so I haven't thought about my score. Do you know what you'd give it out of 5?
I'm thinking like it's kind of hard because I was kind of comparing it to like Candyman and when we review that, but I think obviously I like that movie like a little more. It's more classic. It's more iconic, obviously, because it's the.
Oh, you like the OG one more?
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I liked watching this movie. Like,
Sorry.
I liked just seeing us in this age like doing our thing. It's just fun to watch. I mean, it's not boring. Like,
it's good.
I wouldn't say that. Yeah, it's good. I mean, I think I'm gonna go with like 3.5. I liked it. I think it's definitely more like it's not less than a 3. Like, but when it comes to like being a 4, I'm thinking like Candyman might be more of a 4.
I know, and that's why I'm so pissed, because it's like this movie's got a black director, it's got a black cast, like it has the setup to be one of my favorite movies of all time, and it's like, where the fuck is the rest, or is the 29 minutes more of this movie?
Almost there.
I have to also reluctantly give it a 3.5. This is the closest to a 4 I think I could ever get without giving it a 4. So like I just like when I think of a 4, I'm like Friedkin Sorcerer is like a well, actually I might even give that movie a 5. But like like giving this movie a 4 is it's missing the mark.
No, I agree. Like, if someone were to give it a 4, I'm glad you did. Like I appreciate that. You see it for what it is, and you enjoyed it, and I agree with you 4. But for me, right here,
like Carrie's a 4.
I'm gonna leave it then.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? All right. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed our for Candyman. Obviously, we're gonna turn Slim into Candyman for the thumbnail, so I hope you guys will enjoy that. And we'll see you next time.
Ooh, another one down. Another one by.